So let's refer to the next diagram. So let's take a look at the official website of the US Department of the Treasury and take a look at the real data published by the US Congressional Budget Office. The chart above shows the US fiscal budget from the end of 2020 to the beginning of 2025. So let's take a look at the marketable borrowing column. This column displays the amount of external market financing raised by the US Treasury. As we can see, starting from 2023, the amount of external financing has not been below $600 billion. The reason why is it was lower from April to June 2023 is that the deadline for filling personal income taxes in the US is April the 15th. So since taxes were collected, the financing pressure for that month naturally decreased somewhat. We noticed that before the US presidential election, during the period from October to December 2024, the US Treasury's financing amount suddenly dropped from $700 billion to $500 billion. And then from January to March 2025, it is set to surge to $800 billion. Why is there such a sharp fluctuation? Well, it's simple. Yellen doesn't want the US debt to collapse during her term, so she postpones it to the next president's term. So we'll refer to diagram 4. So once Trump takes office next year, he will face substantial financing demands. Looking at the US Treasury balance, we can observe that many years ago, the Treasury's balance was often around $300 billion. However, since the COVID-19 pandemic, the Treasury has had to maintain a different balance of around $800 billion, thus to ensure that the government has enough funds to operate. So in my view, after taking office, Trump will have no choice but to quickly devalue the dollar in order to dilute the US debt. To mask the debt crisis, Trump could even justify this devaluation by claiming it's intended to stimulate US exports. But in reality, it is just to dilute the debt pressure on the United States. Overall, the effects of a rapid dollar devaluation are mixed with both positive and negative effects. It may not necessarily be entirely beneficial for the East, as it depends on whether the US can manage to roll over its debt, i.e. refinance existing debt. So simply put, if Trump wants to ease the national debt problem, he must first rapidly lower interest rates, then use the low interest money borrowed through short-term bonds to buy back long-term bonds with maturities of 10 years or more. Additionally, the US will need to keep long-term bond rates in the 4.5 to 5% range, and importantly, avoid a liquidity crisis in the US. Treasuries, in the US Treasuries. If these conditions are met, Trump may be able to delay the debt crisis from erupting for a period of time.